Amazing. April 24, 2025. So good to be alive. Let's get it started. I probably should go over to the back rooms and the back chats and let some folks know that we are here for the Thursday show. And what an interesting one it'll be. OMG. Maybe I'll rhyme the whole way through. Yeah, got some good stuff. Alkanes. Yeah, alkanes. OMG. Uh all this is organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. Oh my god. Like, hello. Alkanes. Remember I said that? It's alkanes, people. But let's get at it. We're having fun in crypto currently. There's so much going on, and you just got to stay abreast of it. But here's what we got to do first. We got to go over to the universal greeting. But how did I? Yes, here we are. We are on the Discord. Let's get it. Maybe some people will come in here. And then we got an announcement to make. Okay, so Beijing, ni hao. London, hello, top of the morning to you. Los Angeles, hey. Paris, bonjour. Lisbon, hola. Hong Kong, hello. Sweden, hey. Toronto, good day, hey. Tokyo, konnichiwa. Turkey, merhaba. See that? Tokyo, konnichiwa. Turkey, merhaba. Just flowed very beautifully. My name is Trudeeart. This is the Universe Wallet, Indexer, Explorer, Marketplace, and Inscribing, plus the leaderboard tracker for the dot swap, runes, trading, and copy trading bot, all on bitcoinuniverse.io. Unleashing Bitcoin's full potential, making the Universe Wallet really an all-in-one solution to manage all your assets in one place. You have full support for Atomicals, for BRC20, for Dust20, for TAP, for DMT, for UNAT, for Runes, for LRC20, for Lambda, for SRC20, Stamp, and now Alkanes. Alkanes, yeah, that's right. Alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons that contain a single covalent bond of listen, I'm gonna stop pretending, okay, people. But this is all chemistry and it's so exciting. I can see the excitement out there that there is a new protocol that is very promising indeed. And we will talk about that in a second. But listen, I got some questions for you. Normally I ask about your water, the blood pressure, mirror check. What have you done for yourself lately? And I've got new questions. Have you opened up a Universe wallet yet? Have you named your wallet? And have you dived into the wallet and checked it out? Because, as I said, Alkanes is something that is creating a lot of excitement in crypto currently. And as you know, it's just a traveling carny of this protocol to that protocol, and so on and so on. They call it innovation, call it what you want, but it's a traveling show. And there's some tools that the universe has for alkanes. Absolutely. They're quick on it. They're quick on the draw. They're not going to fade any of the stuff that's out there. Okay. So let me just tell you what's going on here. Let's go over to bitcoinuniverse.io. Hopefully some people will come and talk this morning. So here's an announcement that was made. There's lots of announcements that were made, but here's a couple. Free minting of alkanes. Yes, free minting of alkanes. You can now use at OYL Wallet to mint alkanes on the universe. Go check that out right now. Take a look at that. Have you noticed when you go to wallets, connect wallets? So if you go to bitcoinuniverse.io and you head over, okay, so let's go there now. bitcoinuniverse.io. Like to do things in real time here. And you go to connect wallet. Look at that. Haha. See that? OYL wallet, OYL wallet. Yes, you can now connect your OYL wallet Very cool. And if you then look at the menu here, you're going to see wallet, register, explore, index, inscribe, trade, tools, alkanes. You can mint. Go on a mint. And just like you can mint runes on here, you can mint alkanes. There's a lot of new tokens that are popping up. There's orbitals, um, diesel, there's funendacity, there's ethane, there's pi, AOFO, alkane. There are 55 pages. Uh, Dopamine, octane, water, frost, Pepe. Okay, now they're going into some of the OG names, but everything that you minted on any other chain, you can now mint it on alkanes. So it's just rolling from one to the next here. And this seems like a lot of the liquidity is on here. So you can take a look at those mints. There's absolutely some more tools here. There's even an explorer. Yep, there's even an explorer. That was quick. Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. So, talk about being on top of the cutting edge of things. If the people want it, it's here. And talking about here, let's backtrack a little bit and ask you that question again. Have you opened up a Universe wallet? This show today is going to be a little bit of focus on the wallet itself. Yeah, the wallet itself. Let's see here. Let me go back and make sure that I'm still on here. I could have been removed. Okay, no, I think I'm still on here. Yeah, I think I'm still on here. So let's keep it going until somebody comes in here. So if you go to the bitcoinuniverse.io, very important to have a look at registering a wallet. And the way that you do that is you go over to register and you click universe names. And you can literally name your wallet. And there's an important reason why you'd want to actually name your wallet. So if you insert your name, as long as it isn't taken, there's about 83 pages of folks that have already named their wallet. Some of the names here, let's just shout out some of the names. You know, people are just choosing letters. Here's some of the names. There's one. Durf Wade, 05, there's O, there's NIU, there's log, there's U, there's fly, there's Y, there's Q. The whole alphabet almost is taken. I see S, I see NGG, 61, N1, P, 19, 17, W, T. These are actually names of wallets. So I guess that's an easy name to remember. Hey, you can send some of those sats over to S. Okay, because that's the name of somebody's wallet. Hey, once you actually name your wallet, what's really cool is then you can go over to chat. What you would do is you'd hit tools, and once you hit tools, you'd head over to chat, and guess what? Welcome to Bitcoin on-chain Messenger. Very cool. This is one of the first wallets that allows you to interact with other people in real time. And how can you do that? Well, you can go to tools and you can look up the wallet name. So let's say that was S. You can put an S in the input name or address, and then S's name will populate. Yeah, their name will populate. And you can even take a look at, hey, what do they have in their wallet? Literally. And you can see all the stuff that they have. Like they've got some BRC20s, they've got runes. And that's the really cool thing. And the value added for Bitcoin is transparency. We can see where everybody's at. Nobody really can hold their cards. because everything is on the table. So that's kind of cool. And you can also go over to trade. Go over to trade. And let's say you jumped into Dust 20. No, let's go over to, because I remember last week Dust 20 not, has anybody registered their name yet over on Dust 20? Let's go through it and let's see. Dust 20 people. I believe Dust interesting, very interesting protocol. They made a really big splash, and some of the key tokens for that protocol were the first out of the gate. And the first out of the gate is the Dust token itself. The Dust token itself. There's a lot of listings for that, so you can go take a look at that. I don't see that many have registered their name over there. Let's go over to Tap. Let's go over to Tap and see who's registered their name over on Tap. I like the name Tap, by the way. Okay, we see Mika, M-I-K-A, Mika. Mika has registered their name. What's Mika selling today? Mika is selling some, what is Mika selling? E2T. Mika's selling E2T. That's a Tap token. And Mika has listed that for 0.0016206. Very interesting. So I can literally press that bubble and talk to Mika. That's why it's so important to register your name, because that will give you an opportunity to talk to other wallet holders. So very interesting and very cool that you can start talking to people. That's really where the power is in any network, is creating alliances, creating social networks that you can tap into their network, and you can kind of help each other along the journey of stacking sats. So very, very cool. So registering your name. Okay. And the way that you do that is you go to register, you cursor down to universe names, insert the name you want, insert your wallet, hit register for a nominal fee. Then your wallet has a name and you're good to go. So let's explore. Where can you go here? First of all, let's go back to the beginning and let's take a look at the beginning. Here's where you can go. Leaderboard of elite traders. Absolutely. The runes copy trading bot. The leaderboard, the tracker is on the universe. This is a partnership done with DotSwap. Okay. And they provide the liquidity, and the universe is providing all of the tracking. And there's a DotSwap trading bot, okay? Runes.swap trading bot. So you can connect very easy. You see that button there? As soon as you hit connect, brings you right to the Telegram, and then you can put in all your like parameters for your trades and all of that. Or you can actually take a look at the top traders here. So I see address E8E6P. They have only 6 trades, and maybe they're still the leader from the last time that I shared this. They're at 127%. Wow, rate of return. You can just hit copy, and once you hit copy, takes you to the same portal, and then you can go ahead and put in all the parameters, and you can copy their trades. Now, listen, I didn't mention this. I skipped this a little bit, but I'm going to go back and mention it. Nothing is financial advice, okay? Why isn't it financial advice? Because you really have to like double down and do research. Research is so important. Even though, you know, things are exciting and all of that sort of stuff, it's actually good to go fact check. Fact check the fact checker. Fact check all the words. I mean, I've been pronouncing this thing as Alkanes, and it's Alkanes, okay? It's Alkanes. So if you fact check that, you'd have known that the pronunciation was just a little bit off there, because this is all about chemistry, okay? And for those of us that are not into chemistry and all of that, it's a new world, okay? But very, very cool. Kind of like the angle there, how it's all about chemistry and how Bitcoin really is a wonderful ball of energy. And just like all of the different hydrocarbons that are out there, like methane and all of that, they're giving us the energy to propel ourselves to whatever space or place we need to be. And so that is really, really an interesting concept and an ideal and an angle. Compelling story. Let's get back at it. With these runes, now, runes, they're seeing a trickling in here. We're seeing there's some liquidity trickling back into runes. I've noticed that when the new stuff comes out, generally what happens is you've got something that's very, very hot, and everybody jumps in, and then the people that move the markets, they leave, and then they go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But there's something compelling about runes. People keep coming back to runes, and I think that there's some compelling runes projects out there. I will mention some again, and I've mentioned them in the past, and it seems like the traders keep going back to these different runes projects. So let me give a shout out here. Let's see if I can get it. Well, we know that one of the projects that people are feeling very comfortable about, and these traders actually will trade into, is Dog Go to Moon. Dog Go to Moon doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, but maybe some sideways action and eventually up, like literally eventually up. So do your own research on that one. And if you want to copy the trades of the traders right now, they're getting into it. I've seen quite a few addresses that have jumped into Dog Go to Moon. Then I've seen them go into Based Internet Panda, and I've seen them move over into Cypher Genesis, and I've seen them move over into Billion Dollar Cat. Hey, I found out something interesting about Billion Dollar Cat. There's actually somebody in the community. I think this is cool. And they are actually looking at creating some education materials for the schools, for the kids. Yeah. And they're going to use that Billion Dollar Cat, that mascot, to create some Bitcoin education. That's pretty awesome because we need to teach more about Bitcoin, and especially to the youth, so that they can understand the power of Bitcoin. Like, I'm amazed, I think anyway, how many people truly don't understand the power of Bitcoin. Here, I'm going to give him a shout out. This is Nish. So this is at NISHSEQ. Says here 13 hours ago, if we're going to make children's books using app Billy Cats, yeah, they're using Billy Cats to teach kids about Bitcoin in a fun way, we need to do our research first. So this individual says, took my daughter to the library today and bored a couple to do some storyline and research, and inspo. Okay. Also says, also working on a cool idea to integrate Web3 ordinal features inside. How cool is that, right? So this is going to be a book by Trish and Nish, SEQ, and this is Billy and the Magic Coin. Billy and the Magic Coin. And then some of you will know, most of you will know that Billy is the upside down B, the Bitcoin B, and then he's got the cat eyes. So that is kind of cool. So while you're trading Billy the cat, they're out there trying to educate the kids. How cool, because we need the world to know about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is absolutely hope. Absolutely hope. So let's keep at it. What's next? So once you're on here at the first page, you can see that Runes is a pretty big deal because of the Runes copy trading bot, and you can jump into those trades. And not financial advice, like I said. You've always got to do your own research, and a lot of those traders they are into the research, and That's why some of them are doing the returns that they're doing. Okay. The next thing that you can look at doing is you can look at heading over to Inscribe. Absolutely. Once you head over to Inscribe, you can press runes. And well, actually, before you press runes, press the universe. Yes, because rune zero. Rune zero is an actual tool that was created by the universe so that you could save costs on minting runes. Yes. So with the rune zero, you can save up to 50% on minting comparatively to other sites that allow you to mint, such as Xverse or even Unisat. So if you pick up a rune zero, I've actually done it myself. And then once you have your rune zero, if you go back to Inscribe and you hit runes, what will populate is the actual page for runes. And then you can actually start minting some runes. And there's some new ones here that weren't on the hot mints before. Like there's Pizza Ninja Cat, there's Sunny Satoshi, there's FSIC generators, there's 1 millisat, there's Bitcoin BTC. Wow, there's like over 16,000 pages. That's crazy, 16,000 pages. But the top mints, the first 10 pages, you'll get the top mints, and you can mint right from the site here on the universe. So if you go to Inscribe, and if you've already gone to universe, scroll down to rune zero, you have your rune zero. Then you just go back to Inscribe, hit runes, and bam, you're right here at the site that allows you to mint. So that's pretty cool. Then you can start minting your runes. Absolutely. Okay, so once you have looked at minting runes, some of the other features for runes itself would be trade. And if you head over to trade, you'll see that what populates first is the runes portal. And you see that there's swaps, liquidity DeFi, trade, and copy trade that takes you over to the .swap trade bot. .swap trade bot. Okay, and you're also going to see, if you head over to trade, I mentioned this already. You're also gonna see Alkanes. There's no place yet to trade Alkanes, but the actual there's no place on the universe as yet to trade Alkanes as yet, but you actually can trade Alkanes on other sites. What you can do right now, like I mentioned, is you can actually mint the Alkanes. So very cool. Let's see if anybody is out there. It looks like I'm doing a solo show right now. Oh, what happened? Guess I didn't get a strong enough title in there. But you know what? This is the Thursday show, and this show is built out as a way to give hope. Hope that Bitcoin actually is a solution for a lot of the people out there that are trying to figure out, like, how am I going to actually make it through what is happening in the fiat world? Fiat is coming to a grinding halt, people. It's coming to a grinding halt. And we're seeing now that Bitcoin has some opportunities. But how are you, how am I, how are any of us going to, become a part of these opportunities if we don't keep up with what's happening? And I can tell you, it moves so fast in Bitcoin. It moves so fast in Bitcoin. And I always say, if you are still unaware of at least what the whole idea of Bitcoin is, the fact that it is freedom technology, then go and do a refresher. Go and go to hope.com. I keep pushing that website, but I think that will help you to understand how important this is. How important this is, because I think it's fascinating to have a technology that literally was created for the simple fact that people felt trapped. They felt trapped by the money system that constantly had so many barriers. In the money system, you always have to go through a third party. You always have to jump the fence or get clearance from the higher ups. But in the space of Bitcoin with cryptography, there's this power of freedom of being able to transact with another individual, an unknown individual that you have not vetted, that's somewhere across the world, trustlessly. That's pretty powerful to trustlessly connect with others. And you know that whatever you're doing, there's somebody who's that somebody, there's a miner out there. And any of us can become miners, by the way. Any of us can create nodes, by the way, and we can mine the network. And through this cryptography and this number crunching of the computers, we are actually being given the freedom to transact peer to peer. That's pretty powerful. That idea is pretty powerful. And I think the world would be amazed if they came into Bitcoin and understood the power of that. I think that often it's we get in here, the ones that are using all of these exciting protocols, and we're out here stacking sats. I think sometimes we forget that story, that underlying story, and we jump into all of these projects, and we're not, maybe we are or aren't, but my thought process is here. Are we taking the time to understand what we're actually doing? Because every single sat that we make or don't make determines our future. There is a fight right now for the soul of Bitcoin. And I can tell you, the corporates and the professionals, as I call them, they've arrived. Yesterday, in fact, Cantor, Cantor skyrockets 130% as traders FOMO into the stock on Bitcoin SPAC frenzy. Did you hear about that? Investors are flocking to Cantor Equity Partners ahead of its potential merger with 21 Capital. So, what's that about? Well, some of you may or not know the Strike CEO, Jack Mallers. And here's what he's going to do. So, this is a little bit of information from CoinDesk, okay? So what to know here, they say market cap still trails intrinsic BTC exposure with 21 set to control over 42,000 BTC, the third party largest public treasury. Post-convert ownership heavily favors insiders, with public shareholders retaining 2.7%, but positioned for the highest leverage BTC upside. Okay, so basically, shares of Cantor Equity Partners, CEP, they surged 55%. That was on Tuesday, and they were up additionally 15% in pre-market trading below 19. The skyward movement was driven by investor optimism around there's a proposed merger with 21 Capital. It's a Bitcoin native investment vehicle backed by Tether, Bitfinex, and SoftBank. Yeah. So, and guess who it's going to be led by? Yes, I said it. Led by Strike CEO Jack Mallers and Brandon Lutnick. That's 21 Capital's 21 Capital being positioned as a public proxy for Bitcoin. So they're going to be Michael Saylor on steroids here, potentially holding over 42,000 Bitcoin at launch, introducing metrics like Bitcoin per share, that's PBS, and Bitcoin return PRR, return rate PRR to measure the shareholder value in BTC terms. According to the largest pro forma ownership tables, Tether will control about 42.8% of equity and 51.7% of voting power, while Bitfinex and SoftBank hold 16% and 24% of company, respectively, post-convert. Public SPAC shareholders will remain just 2.7% ownership, and underscoring the extreme dilution but significant upside if Bitcoin rises. Hey, why is this important? This is massively important because I think the individuals that are in Bitcoin having fun, looking at what project to jump into next, think about what you're doing, because there's people outside of here thinking about what they're doing. And now what they're doing is they are creating mega firms. Mega firms to do what? To do what Michael Saylor is doing, to come and buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be filled with whales. So our freedom technology, as exciting as it sounds, these mergers and these acquisitions and these SPACs and opportunities, our freedom technology is being gobbled up by whales. So as you're out there, having fun and doing all of this wonderful stuff on Bitcoin, take it seriously and ask yourself, okay, what are the projects that I'm really going to get into? And that's why, I truly believe that the universe is giving each of us an opportunity to have a one-stop shop that allows you to hold all of your assets in one place and gives you tools to then go and fight for the sats. Um, take this very seriously. As much as you're having fun, take it serious, because like I said, others are taking it very serious. That's a load of money coming into Bitcoin in a serious way. These players are not joking. Like, when I saw that, I thought, my goodness, they're telling us they're doing us a favor because they're going to buy Bitcoin, but we need to be stacking the sats, like, bigly. Which brings me to another thing that came up this morning, showing you the power of Bitcoin. Okay, showing you the power of Bitcoin. Just a little thing that jumped up here. There's a project out there, and the project that I am referring to, let me get at it here, is let's see. It's an art project that's on top of it's over on OpenSea, and they had a little bit of a situation that happened, and I thought, ooh, that is interesting. What does that mean? So let me get into it. Okay, so we have a handle here called @XEER, @XEER, and here's what they were sharing. They said, you can't make this up. The entire at RTFKT, that's artifact, okay, artifact Clonex collection no longer has any art because it has been restricted by Cloudflare. He says, LMAO, laughing my ass off. And some of you thought this was the next at CryptoPunks NFT since it was abandoned. Okay. I've actually gone over to OpenSea and I've tried to look at the project, and a message comes up. It says, this content has been restricted using Cloudflare's basic service in the manner is a violation of the terms and service. Please visit CFL dot blah 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 blah. Okay, so basically, if you were in this project, RTFKT, and what is that, by the way? Hey, they're under the Nike brand. So RTFKT, which is pronounced as Artifact, is Nike's fourth brand alongside Jordan and Converse brand. They use crypto and blockchain technology to create a bridge between digital and physical world. They use game engines to create unique experiences in digital fashions, sneakers, and products, etc. Hey, why is this important? How does this relate to Bitcoin? Because I mean, it's all about the Bitcoin. Well, how it relates to Bitcoin is this massive project. I mean, under the brand of Nike, um, was a absolute win for the blockchain worldwide. Clonex was a project that they created, and it's avatars. It's a collection of 20,000 clones that are metaverse ready. Yeah, metaverse ready. And they have a DNA rarity, which makes for a compelling collectible. Absolutely. I would almost equate it to Kiraverse. Do any of you know about Kiraverse? Kiraverse, they're also like it's a free to play multiplayer game that allows users to compete and earn digital assets in competitive game modes. Players can team up to earn tokens and collectibles, which they then can trade freely or they can rent to other players. Users can also enter risk based matches to enter cryptocurrency, to earn rather cryptocurrency, or even utilize the option of importing custom characters into the Caraverse, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, there's a lot of these things. And you know what? Bitcoin's doing that, by the way. Okay. Bitcoin is doing that. Check out bitmaps. But let's get back to why I'm bringing this up. Okay. Bringing what up? Let me say it again. The entire RTFKT Clonex collection no longer has any art because it has been restricted by Cloudflare. And if you want more info about that, then you can kind of dig into it. But if you go to OpenSea, some of the artwork is being restricted. You can't do that on Bitcoin. Do you see why the power of Bitcoin is so important? Bitcoin is decentralized. Bitcoin is it's not a centralized story. On these other chains, which are great, all of these NFTs, all of these wonderful pieces of art that you're buying, you can potentially one day go to your collection and you too can see a message saying this content has been restricted, using, just take Cloudflare out of that and put in a provider. Using blah 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 basic service in the manner is a violation of the term. If you have Bitcoin, if you have art on Bitcoin, if you have tokens on Bitcoin, you can't do that. You can't do that. Okay. Now, there's levels of you can't do that. Let me back it up. But essentially, once it's on the Bitcoin blockchain, you can't come and take it down. Okay. There is a caveat. There is a caveat. On the other chains, because it is centralized, they can actually do that. So you can imagine getting up this morning and you have such a powerful project. I mentioned that this project, this is under the Nike umbrella. This is not just like a little project that some person made up in their basement. Okay. This is a brand under Nike. Like, this is for the sneakerheads, you know, the Jordans, the Converse. And they created the artifact. It has like a little like like a lightning bolt, like, you know how the Nike kind of has the check mark. The artifact is like the lightning bolt, and it was their crypto and blockchain bridge to the between the digital and the physical world. And you were going to be able to use your Clonex avatars. You can use them as PFPs, obviously, and you were going to be able to use them in games and do a whole bunch of cool stuff. And to think that your avatars, you can't get access to them because of some issues that are happening in the back rooms of Cloudflare or whatever. Not happening on Bitcoin, people. Not happening on Bitcoin. So if you're wanting to trade NFTs, if you're wanting to collect art, you may want to really, really, really think about, is it a wise move to be putting a ton of money into these centralized exchanges on top of any chain that has the power to turn things off for you? If it's on a centralized exchange, it's basically on Amazon Web Services. If the project for some reason doesn't, pay their bills or whatever the disputes are, then you're at the mercy of those pointing services. Bitcoin is not a pointing service. You're right on chain. That's what that see, I don't think people understand the idea of this freedom technology. Why is this technology so important? Bitcoin is not just about number go up. That is what happens when you have value. The value of Bitcoin is the fact that it has the power to give autonomy, the power for the people to actually decide. The people get to decide what they want to do in Bitcoin, and then they get to connect with whomever they want to, and there's no centralized body that can shut Bitcoin down. Now, there is a caveat to that. There's layers and layers of things. So that's why the research is so great. In the midst of the people that are coming into Bitcoin, knowing that Bitcoin has this decentralization, we're all excited about it. But there are levels to things. And what do I mean by that? Once you come into Bitcoin and you start your journey, it all started with Counterparty and really organic movement. A lot of artists coming in, and because of the love of Bitcoin and all that Bitcoin is doing for them, they created their own movement with the Pepe. Pepe is a very cool freedom symbol. Many people want to equate Pepe with this or that or the other, but Pepe is just a symbol, and you can use it as a symbol of anything. Okay. So once you move into the counterparty stuff, and then you get to Ordinals and you get to BRC20, and you see the excitement of it all, right? And then somebody else comes along, like say the protocol of stamp. Each one is building on top of what the last one did. And here's the caveat with Ordinals, you can't remove them. However, they could be forked. They would not be removed, but they could be forked. If there was consensus by the miners, if they wanted to scrub the data, then they could remove. They could fork Bitcoin so that the data would not be on the main chain. Okay. That's the easiest way that I can describe it, because some will say, no, that could never happen. Would it happen? I don't think so. I don't think so. But then again, if you are worried about that, here's the interesting thing. Each time a new protocol comes in, they're looking at building out more new improved features. Stamp, that's a protocol. They came in and they thought a little bit about that idea of security of data. And they looked at, okay, well, we like doing art on Bitcoin and tokens, primarily art. How can we secure the data? So that protocol looks to secure the data. And the whole ideal there is that if there was some type of consensus, they wouldn't be able to easily scrub that data from the main chain, because it has to remain on there because of how the data is stored within the UTXOs. Okay. With the ordinals, it's stored in the witness data. Why am I mentioning this? Just because of this one tweet today. You can imagine a powerful project like Artifacts. Okay. RTFKT, which is Artifacts, under Nike, and somebody coming and telling them basically their content has been restricted. Come on. That's the canary in the coal mine, people. That once you see, if that can happen once, it can happen twice. Okay. So then that makes Bitcoin even more compelling. And so if Bitcoin is freedom technology, then let's be very clear here. You can't come to Bitcoin and do that. Again, I've explained ways that information can be I guess it can't be removed, but I've explained ways of how you could potentially hmm got to be careful with the words here. I've explained how there's a potential scenario with ordinals, but even then it wouldn't actually be removed for forever. Okay. Over here, it's removed for forever. Over here, where? Over here on that other chain, over here on the chain that is underlying to that whole Clonex avatar project. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay. So I'm sharing this because that's kind of what my Thursday show is about. Thursday show is really all about Bitcoin, really all about how is Bitcoin hope? How can Bitcoin combat some of what happens quite regularly in the TradFi space? What happens over there? There's gatekeepers. There's a lot of rules, regulations, restrictions, um, and there's a lot of barriers to entry. Once you get to Bitcoin, the reason why Bitcoin is hope, because the regulators, there's a lot less regulators in Bitcoin. Really are just opinion leaders, okay? But they can't stop you from actually interacting in Bitcoin. They can't. As long as you have a node in your hand, a phone, you can be a part of the chain. If you have if you have the need to transact with somebody across the globe, you can do it. You don't have to go and stand in line and wait for somebody to say, next, how can I help you? Oh, I want to send a wire. Doesn't matter where you're going. If you're going into the bank or if you're going into one of those money wire places, like, you know, all of the different money wire places, you don't have to do that. You can connect to freedom technology and you can do that under 5 minutes. That's what the Thursday show is about. But due to a little bit of a slow start with the Thursday show, in fact, I don't even know if this is still being recorded here. I don't see anybody out there this morning, but I have another 10 minutes and I'm going to keep going. So due to the lack of metrics on this particular show, this will be my final show. Yes, that is the breaking news. Woo! This is my final show. It's been a really fun ride. This is my final Thursday show. And then I will do one last show on Tuesday. And then I will just be hosting Wednesdays only for now. And the Wednesdays only will continue with SWA. Got 9 more minutes left here. So yes, I can now share with you that this is the last Thursday show. And I had a surprise for anyone that showed up, but I don't see anybody out there right now. So I'll have to be holding that back. Holding that back. But yeah, this is the final show, and it's been a good ride, people. I have learned lots, and it's been fun. But the universe is going to be here. There will be other hosts coming aboard. there will be more exciting stuff happening, and I will continue on my final show on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I will be coming each Wednesday for a SWA Stamp with Attitude show. Okay, but I've really enjoyed this ride because I'll tell you, I have learned tons. And the first thing that I've learned is that Bitcoin is freedom technology. Shout out to the people that are building this highway out us to stack sats and prosper. And the Universe Wallet is absolutely allowing us to do that. So if you are going to stack sats and prosper, then make sure you get tools that can really support you along the way. And a big tool here is Bitcoin Universe Wallet. Another tool is the Explorer. Okay, there's Explorer for Ordinals, BRC20, Runes, TAP, DMT, UNAT, Bitmaps, LRC20, SRC20, Domains, Stamps, ARC20, Dust20, Names. And by the way, I should say this on the names, the register names. Now that Alkanes is out, who has registered alkanes.sats, alkanes.btc, methane.sats, methane.btc? Let's look at some of the other popular ones right now. Propane.sats, propane.btc, butane.sats, etc., etc. All of those alkanes tokens, at least the top, I would say the top 10 out of the gate, they probably would be good names to go and secure, like methane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, gasoline, petroleum. Those probably would be really good names to go and stack. Absolutely. Yes. So, okay. So I last left off at the Explorer. And then there's the indexer. The indexer. So what is there an indexer for? There's an indexer for TAP, for DMT, for UNAT, for SRC20, for stamps, for CAT20, LRC20, and for runes, and for Dust20. Okay, and then you head over to Inscribe. You've got domains, Dust20, and then if you go to Universe, you've got tools like Tap Zero, and that's for the TAP protocol. If you're interested in doing anything under the TAP umbrella, Tap Zero can actually help you. If you mint the Tap Zero, can help you with no fees for life. Then there's the iStamps. iStamps I typically talk about on Wednesdays, and that is not a tool. Those are actually tokens under the TAP protocol, and those tokens will help you to earn 50% of the monthly marketplace revenue with iStamps. What's the marketplace right now? The marketplace right now with Stamp for the iStamps is the Stamp art itself. So if you go over to Trade and you go to Stamp, there's about 9 pages of art. 9 pages of art. So the art is coming on board here, and there have been sales and activity. There's new listings, and there's been some sales that are happening. And then there will be the Stamp token marketplace, the Stamp token marketplace. And that is still, they're still working on bringing that, on releasing that. And I mentioned a little while ago that they are going to be doing a kind of like a stamp pump fund. They were to bring on a marketplace similar to OpenStamp.io. Everything is ready to go on the side of the Universe. They're just waiting for APIs from the stamp chain guys. So that was a little bit of the hiccup there. It's because I know some people have been asking, hey, where's the marketplace? Because they really want to get going on that. Okay, so that seems like it's about a wrap, people. It's about a wrap. So thank you. Have yourselves a great weekend. I will be back here Tuesday. Let's see if we can get anybody out here on Tuesday with me. And that'll be really cool. Very excited. Very excited. It's going to be a really cool one out there. Make sure you do your research. Get into it on alkanes. There's a ton of information that you can actually get on alkanes. There's quite a few people that have made some videos. In fact, the block runners, they're always good guys. They have done a whole show dedicated to alkanes. So let me tell you where to go and get that. So go to the Block Runner, at Block Runner, and you can see what they've done on alkanes. I did a show on Tuesday, and I think I did a nice little rundown. And you can go take a look at that show too. Where can you go for that show? You can go to the YouTube also and go to Bitcoin Universe, all one word, by the way. Bitcoin Universe. And if you go into Bitcoin Universe, probably should subscribe to it. The show is called Bitcoin to 1 million, Hot New Alchemist Protocol, and Runes. It's getting quite a bit of views too. Very cool. Very cool. So go take a look at that show if you want to learn more about alkanes. And there's actually there's some more info that you can get from alkanes if you go over to the OYL network. They will have more information on it because those are the guys that actually are the builders of that new protocol. So you can go to the OYL network. And I mentioned that the universe now allows you to connect. There's the Universe Wallet, Unisat Wallet, Xverse Wallet, OKX Wallet, Magic Eden. And guess what? There's the OYL Wallet. You can connect there too. So thank you so much. The time is now, I'm going to stay on here till exactly 60 minutes. Time is now 10:59. It's 11 o'clock. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Bye.